Welcome to Screen Riot Season 3 Finale Heat, a crime film from 1995. This episode will contain major spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's available to stream on Starz or rent on all the other major streaming services. Go check it out and come back to the podcast because this is Screen Riot. Welcome to Screen Riot, the podcast where we review a movie chosen entirely by fate. If you're having difficulties finding movies to watch, then this might be the podcast for you. I'm one of your hosts, Justin, and alongside me are my co-hosts, Eddie, Kyle, and John. And each week, one of us spins the wheel of fate, and the host must pick any movie from that genre. If you'd like to see all the movies that we've reviewed so far and how they've ranked, visit screenriot.net and have a look at the movie ratings page. At the end of each show, we'll spin the wheel and see what next week's movie is going to be so that you can follow along at home. Also, while you're at screenriot.net, make sure to head over to the support page to see all the different ways you can help support the show. With all that being said, the movie that we're talking about today is Heat. And what's it all about? It's about a group of professional bank robbers that start to feel the heat from police when they unknowingly leave a clue at their latest heist.
Ooh, feel the heat. When I feel the heat coming, I always run away.
I don't
like
know.
A little
they
boy.
Say it like 15 times.
Whenever I feel that heat, I know I'm too far south.
It's like taking his face off. Face off.
So Heat is from 1995. It's rated R. It's not a brisk 2 hours and 50 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And it was directed by Michael Mann, who wrote it as well.
Okay,
right?
nice.
So he wrote and directed Michael Mann. Wrote and directed this movie. What I was going to say is I found out something today while doing some research on this movie that I found quite interesting. That this movie, which I've always really liked, is a remake.
Really?
Yes. It's Michael Mann wrote and directed a movie called L.A. Takedown. Back in 1989, I believe, or 87. 87, that's what it was.
87?
It was a TV movie, and it's basically this movie. Some of the character names are changed, but a lot of the same plot points, a lot of the same situations, and even the dialogue. If you go and look up the trailer for LA Takedown, it's the same movie. So I'm actually kind of curious. I'd like to go back and take a look, try to find LA Takedown somewhere, and see what's the difference of it is, because it sounds like
1989.
89. Okay.
Yeah, and it says a new kind of police detective hunts a new kind of criminal in Los Angeles.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask...
TV movie.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask two questions. How was Pacino a new type of police detective in this movie? Like, did I miss something?
Well, that was the tag. That was lines for
LA Takedown.
No, I'm with you, but if it's basically the exact same movie, how is... I don't understand how this is supposed to be cutting edge in some way. Or was he still intending it to be cutting edge with Heat?
I don't know.
Or is it just more supposed to be talking about the heat?
What kind of cop actually rides around in helicopters, man?
The helicopter
if you're Al Pacino,
cops.
Yeah.
Well, not your normal Joe Schmo
When
cop.
there's trouble.
Well, there's trouble.
There's trouble.
This is not RoboCop.
All right, so before we start jumping into reviewing this masterpiece, Eddie, that is known as Heat, I want to talk about a little bit, since this is the season finale, the season 3 review that I do, right? So we reviewed 17 movies, right?
Yep.
The lowest scoring movie, do you guys remember?
Oh, it's going to be...
for this season?
Bill and Ted, right?
No, it's not Bill
Close.
and Ted. It's the other one. Cool World.
Cool World, yes.
Cool World.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Why'd you remind me?
So that's the lowest of all 3 seasons, though, not just this season.
You're right.
Yeah, because it's only like a 0.4 score or something. It's awful.
We have a new world record.
But, and the highest rated from this season was Ex Machina at 8.8. Nope, sorry, you're right. Sorry, 1917.
Yeah.
9.3.
Yeah, 1917 was really high. And it's also another of all 3 seasons, it's the highest scoring movie.
It's only been 3 months, though. Like, 3 months of a season.
Our seasons are 4 months and 1 week.
Oh, they're 4 months? I thought there were
17 movies. We do one a week.
Oh, shit. Wow.
That includes the season
That is a
wrap
long
up.
time.
That
Yeah.
includes the season wrap up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So our average score this season was 5.96.
All right. So above
little,
average
little
movies.
less than 6. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So then about the budgets, I added up all the budgets for all the movies that we reviewed this season, and it comes out to be, and I'm just gonna round this a little bit, but it's $439,935,000
Wow,
roughly.
that's actually quite low.
Well, when you adjust for inflation,
Oh,
it is actually comes out to be $621,786,000.
wow.
I guess let's go ahead and start talking about Heat.
When the heat comes around the corner.
Please stop saying it. The whole
Oh.
fucking. As soon as they
I
start
thought
mentioning,
that's what they were reviewing.
it's not that.
what we're doing.
As soon as they mention the word heat in the movie, I'm like, oh god. And then they just kept saying it.
Well, it's like if
over
this
and
movie
over.
was called The Fuzz.
Exactly. What are we gonna do if the heat comes around the corner? I don't know. What are you gonna do if you feel the heat? I don't know.
The only
I
thing
felt
missing,
the heat one time when I was in prison. I did too. His name was John.
Then I
Like,
turned
good
on the
Lord,
air
like,
conditioner.
it's constant.
just missing the heat is on.
Yes,
Oh.
right. That's all it fucking needs. It's,
That's what it
that,
needs.
It's that bad.
Well, John,
Yeah.
you said before we started doing this that you haven't seen Heat yet. So
Correct.
What did you think? What were your first instincts about Heat?
Oh well, my very first instinct was, holy crap! It's a 2-hour and 50-minute movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm in for the long haul here.
I love how you say that like you're John Wayne. I'm in for the long haul, Pilgrim.
Well, he
like
did
everything you do,
I didn't even realize I did it.
it's a little bit John Wayne.
He has picked nothing but John Wayne movies, though.
I think this movie would have been better with John Wayne instead of De Niro in it. Like,
I'm
okay,
gonna do that. I'm gonna pick
No.
nothing but John Wayne and Clint Eastwood movies
I
next
like
season.
it. I like
Well,
it.
that's
All of them.
that's your stick. Eddie's is all horror.
I'm gonna find a horror movie with John Wayne in it.
He needs to find a horror comedy because that's gonna be good.
I've got a couple.
Ugh.
But no, I liked it. I really liked it. I feel that there could be 45 minutes taken out of it, and it would still be pretty good.
I'm looking at a solid hour. But
You
yeah, I'm
know?
with you.
Damn.
But I mean, well,
Yeah.
like I'm sure we'll get into it. But the whole scenes with what's the actor's name? With the Allstate guy,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dennis
Haysbert.
Haysbert.
Yeah.
All those scenes can be taken out. Not needed whatsoever.
I just wanted him to go around and be like, "Are you in good hands?"
Right.
Well, you know,
Allstate.
That's Allstate, Stan.
I did find it kind of funny that they hire the Allstate car insurance guy to be the getaway driver,
It's pretty funny.
and probably caused a pretty high bill.
Yeah.
So you guys know him as the Allstate guy. I always go back to him as Serrano in Major League. He's the
he
Cuban
is.
baseball guy.
He is,
He's the
yeah.
voodoo guy in Major League. That's
Joe
how I
Boo.
always go to. Yeah. You steal Joe Boo's room, I kill you. That guy. Yeah. That's awesome.
The scenes with Tone Lock.
Tone Loc?
Tone Loc.
Yes.
Yeah, Tone Loc. That could have been gone.
Yeah. There's quite a bit.
The whole I mean, really the kind of the subplot with the metal heist that could have been that could have been done differently. I don't know. There was stuff in the movie that I felt you could take out and still have the character-driven film that he was going for.
I agree with you with the Tone Loc thing. Bringing in that extra character is just kind of muddles it up a little bit because that information could have been found from his other informant that he was talking to.
His brother.
His brother. Yeah, the
Could
one
have
that
been found on a
introduced.
piece
Well,
of paper
and-
on the side of the street.
Well, I mean,
don't
they
care.
could have just ran into each other and they did time together. Or something.
And he acts in the film. Like he acts too 90s street.
Yeah.
In my
Are you talking
opinion.
about Tone Loc?
Tone Loc, yeah.
There's a reason. It's because he's trying to be 90s street, and everybody wanted to be Tupac in the fucking 90s. So this is Tone Loc's version of what would Tupac do if he was in this situation. I don't know. I agree with you on cutting things. I would have cut out every time the movie got too slow.
Wow.
Every time the movie, like, there's just certain parts that just seem to drag on forever.
See,
like,
I don't feel
you,
like that.
You
though.
think
Yeah.
that you would cut out your movie would probably be a TV show, like 45 minutes.
oh, solid.
If that was the
solid,
case.
enjoyable 45 minutes. I like it. No, it's serious. Like the girl that De Niro meets and eventually breaks his own rules for, and then like chases her down and abuses her a little bit, and then still leaves her at the hotel.
He didn't break his own rules.
He did.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he left.
He left her.
No, eventually he left. But originally, before the hotel scene, he's like not letting her leave.
Oh,
he's
right, yes.
tackling her and all this other shit. He's breaking his own rule at that point.
At that point, yes.
That's what I mean. At
Yeah.
that point. At
Well,
the hotel, he does eventually stand by his rules. I'm with you.
They're basically kind of in the clear anyways, and he's like, "Nah, you need to come with me because you know too much."
Fair enough. But
You're an
I
accessory.
didn't like the hillside scene with her, the one that was
Ew.
obviously
That was
green
awful.
screen
Yeah.
and lasted
That was a
10
little
minutes?
long. Yeah.
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 at least.
That was long.
Okay, that one you'll go with me is 10
Yeah, yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
Fine. I didn't like that. I didn't
More
like
like
the
5.
fucking. It's always going to be less with Kyle. I didn't like
We can
the
time it.
I didn't like the chase scene with Pacino going after De Niro on
See,
the
I
highway.
thought that was
Yeah.
fun.
I didn't like it. The
A
music
minute.
killed it for me.
I'm
The
gonna
music was awful.
I love the music. I think it was one of the best chase scenes I've seen.
It was like
You're
that.
so full of shit.
I
right
really-
now.
no, I
You're
really
so full
liked
of
it.
shit. Now you're
No.
just saying stuff to
I downloaded
spite me.
I found the song
Good God.
on Apple Music,
and did you drive really fast?
I on the way here today. I've got a.
Oh, is that why you
God.
called me asking if you're 300 yards away?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's great. There's no way.
Call out my distance.
There's no.
He's 300 yards.
Jesus Christ. There's some other weird things about this movie. Going back to the very beginning, I like Val Kilmer's character in this
Chris.
movie. Chris, I like his character in this movie. I'm just confused as to why he has no lines. Like, he talks 4 times in the whole movie. I'm very confused by that. And he's supposed to be British, so I'm wondering if his British accent was so bad that they were like, fuck it, just don't
Maybe.
talk.
You shouldn't have a problem with that because you wanted it shorter.
You're right.
More lines, it's longer movie.
Thankfully. What's weird to me, though, is that he appears to be the only one who's an actual bank robber. Everybody else is literally...
Not Tom Sizemore? He seems like a...
He's okay, but he doesn't really do anything. He just handles a gun.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer's the one
Well,
who's
he drives the truck, the semi.
and he drives a truck. So he literally has 2 skills, neither of which scream bank robber necessarily.
He also disables the security alarm at the
That's true.
mineral
With-
heist.
was he the one who did the security? I thought
Yeah.
that was
Well,
Val Kilmer.
Okay, so
No, Val
yeah,
Kilmer breaks into the...
Oh, okay.
he did
okay.
do that, but he was actually given like a board that you just plug in.
You're right.
Oh,
He didn't...
okay.
So he didn't
He didn't
actually
invent it.
design
And
the
you know
boards.
and you know who designed the board? Val Kilmer.
Kilmer.
No,
So
he didn't. No, it was some weird
No,
dude
it
on
was-
top of a hill going, "I just grab information from the air.
Yeah.
oh, you're
The
talking
hacker guy.
I got my satellites."
the hacker guy, by the way. Wasn't that in RoboCop 2? Wasn't that the bad guy in RoboCop 2? I can't remember the guy's name.
don't-
He was.
I can't remember.
He
his
was in
name
Hell
either.
on Wheels too. He plays the priest in Hell on Wheels, I think.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
is that the same guy?
Is it Tom Noonan? Was that Kelso?
Yes.
Maybe.
Is it Kelso?
Yes,
The-
I think so.
Yeah, I think the guy
Or-
looks familiar on this.
Yeah,
on
I
this
think it is Tom
picture.
Noonan.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. There's certain scenes I just wish they were cut.
Yes,
so that's
and,
what I'm saying.
and
I
he
with
was
you,
Kane on RoboCop 2.
Kane. Yeah, that's him. Then.
Yep, that's him. Yep. But well, since we're talking about the mineral heist, right?
Yes.
I like this scene. Like, it's the tension building between Pacino when they're in that surveillance van, and Robert De Niro when he's like hiding in the shadows or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that cop accidentally makes a noise, and then they have that stare down.
Yes.
You know, between the security cameras.
I hated that guy
love
so
that.
much. I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh my
right.
god, you're so lazy. Just stand there."
I liked the scene. I just think it could be cut, and you wouldn't lose anything out of the film other than that tension.
Well, and there are, like what you're describing, those scenes I would keep. I wouldn't cut any of those scenes. It's the other really annoying long scenes that I would cut.
I
Those
agree
scenes
with-
I like.
I
Like,
agree with you with their little dialogue on the top of the mountain or whatever,
it's like
overlooking the city. And,
the cafe scene between Pacino and De Niro. I keep that.
oh, for sure.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's one of the highlights of the movie.
No complaints. Exactly. No complaints about it. But then if you go, I'm jumping way to the end.
And
I'm sorry.
you wouldn't have that for the epic car chase scene.
You
You're
didn't.
right.
My point was you didn't need it to
Well,
be an epic
I really
car
like.
chase scene.
I really liked how this isn't the first film that they were in together. They were in
Yes.
The Godfather Part 2
Yes.
Yes.
together, but they just
never on screen
Right,
together.
they were never on screen together.
Yeah.
But this is the first where they're actually on screen together, and I loved. Everybody talks about the diner scene. Diner scene's awesome.
Yes.
But the scene before that, where he actually pulls him over,
Yeah.
where De Niro pulls over Pacino, and we see from the car, from inside the
yeah.
passenger seat, and Pacino just kind of slides in there. He's like, "Well, hello." like, well, I've been waiting for this moment, both on film and in real life.
You want some coffee?
I
Okay.
laughed. I chuckled.
I could see chuckling in this very serious crime drama. I could see chuckling.
Hey,
Exactly.
Thus pointing out how it's not a good fitting scene
It's perfect.
for this
it's
movie.
gold.
I don't know. For me, it's weird, but I was going to say,
Yeah.
jumping to the end, kind of going after the hotel thing just for a second to talk about scenes that I would trim down.
Spoiler alerts.
Well, if you haven't, it's
Disclaimer at the
25 years old. It's a
I know.
26-year-old movie.
Technically, since
Yes.
1989, because it was a remake.
It's a 32-year-old movie. Okay, back to what I was saying though. So the airport scene just seems to take forever. I didn't like how long it took at the end.
I like that.
See, I thought there was a moment where I was like, this is a good amount of tension. Right now, he should jump out, and instead they were like, haha, false ending.
I know why you don't
false
like
start.
this.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I know exactly why Eddie doesn't like this movie.
Why?
Why?
Because it reminds you subconsciously of a film noir.
Oh, well.
Think
okay,
about it.
so
Think
this
about
is,
it.
I agree with you. It's definitely a neo noir, but that's not
No,
the reason why.
No, it's not just that it's neo noir.
Yeah.
It is quite literally a colorized noir film. Film noir.
without the narrator.
Without the narrator, exactly.
Well, thus saying it can't be a film noir because a film noir has to be pre 1969 and has to have the narrator. And
I think it's 1953.
19 fuck me. No, John, I agree with you. I see
In
what you're
preparation for the show,
saying. So,
I have watched several things and read several things, and that is quite literally what Michael Mann was trying to do.
so let me say this.
So yes,
I agree with you.
it is a colorized film noir.
I'm screwing with you, but the part that I don't like is honestly that it just took so it feels long. That's never a good sign for a movie when it feels long.
It doesn't feel long to me.
No,
Yeah.
No.
It kept me going.
you just said how you would cut 45.
I would.
minutes.
No. Just because I would cut it doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy the film.
Okay,
I
And
think
it
the pacing
wasn't
is
a good
good.
film. I could, because I'm separating myself from my enjoyment
Okay.
for the purposes of critiquing a film.
Fair enough.
There are things that I could cut it out.
okay, I see what you're saying.
I think the pacing is good throughout the whole, which is difficult to do in a 3-hour movie to keep up.
yeah,
I think the only scene that slows down is when he's talking to Eady, overlooking the city, like you
yeah.
said. That I would definitely cut down a little bit.
God, the green screen.
And the
on
green
that
screen
was
is just awful.
the green,
It's
yeah,
almost
the
like
green
it's
screen
almost
is
like
bad.
they forgot to film those scenes when they went to that same spot earlier in the movie.
And they were like, shit, we
They're
gotta
like,
fake this.
damn it, we don't have that spot anymore. So
Well, and
we got some film left over, right? Just blow it up really big so it looks like they're really close to the lights.
I couldn't tell if it was, because at first I thought it was green screen, but then if you look at the rest of the film, it definitely has a long lens with a separating the characters from the background. So I'm almost wondering if they were doing that,
I don't
but
know.
it caused it to look green screen.
Well, I happen to know it was green screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They did it on purpose, actually.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Why the hell would they do
Yeah,
that?
this is like one of the, as far as I know, the only green screen shot in the movie. The reason they wanted to do it was because they wanted the city to kind of come alive,
Okay.
like to pop.
Yeah.
So they had to shoot it separately. They shot the cityscape at 3 FPS, so that the exposure of the lights would be like really bright
brighter.
and all. But the only way they could have done that was to shoot it separately and then composite it in with the two actors over a green screen.
Shoot.
Well, it didn't work.
Nah.
No, it didn't.
Well, I will say this though: in
C plus for
1990,
effort.
It could have been worse.
well, in 95,
Yeah.
95, yeah.
in 1995, we probably wouldn't have noticed anyway.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, but we do now.
No, but I'm just saying. Like,
Everybody
I mean,
everybody would be like, boy, those lights are bright.
well, I watched
In
it-
'95, I'm going, man, a 3-hour film, that'd be great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I can get into the movies for $2.
Right?
$2 for 3 hours?
But like I watched,
Heck yeah.
I watched an episode of MythBusters from the other day, and literally it was like 2005, and I was like, Jesus Christ, it's so blurry, it's so just SD, just shit. If I mean, they could literally be melting their faces, their skin could be melting off their cheeks, and I would be like, yep, it looks fine. I can't tell a difference. Like there's no such thing as high def. So I mean, in '95, maybe you don't notice.
Well, John, what do you think about Al Pacino?
Pacino, great.
Yeah.
Great. He, like I said, I said before, I actually had to rent the film for myself because I couldn't get my subtitles to work on the copy I had, and so I rented the film because it was so the when he goes crazy. Like he's hacked up, like he's all high on coke. He's like, fat ass, that thing, right? Yeah. when he goes nuts, it's way too loud, and then it goes down to a whisper. And so I ended up having to put the subtitles on, and I ended up having to get it on Amazon, but the Amazon copy of the 4K version, amazing.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that, actually.
I mean, absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Well, what did that green screen scene look like? Did it look terrible?
Horrible.
Oh, okay.
horrible.
Yeah.
I love Al Pacino.
Did I say it was horrible?
Yeah.
Okay, it's horrible.
Yeah, I love Al Pacino in this film. It's one of my favorite films from him. You mentioned earlier that his outbursts that he does, which are kind of over the top. I learned while doing some research for this that there was, after they started shooting, there was a subplot in the script that they took out where his character has a cocaine habit, and some of the scenes were already shot.
Yeah.
And that makes total sense.
And that makes total sense to me.
For his random outbursts.
Yeah.
He was pulling a Gary Oldman. He was trying to be Gary Oldman, the professional. Just like, I just randomly scream. I randomly yell.
Yeah.
I tell you, the cast list on this is another
my
thing
God, it's
is another thing
insane.
that floored me. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got De Niro, Pacino, Val Kilmer, Danny Trejo, John Voight, Ashley Judd, Tom Sizemore, Ted Levine, Amy Brenneman, Dennis Haysbert, that's the Allstate guy.
Yep.
And Tone
Tone
Loc.
Loc, yeah,
Loc.
Tone
Loc.
But then you also have
Is that William Fichtner?
William Fichtner, and then you have
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, Natalie
Natalie
Portman
Portman,
in her
yeah.
second film, which we also reviewed her first film that she acted in this season, which was Leon the Professional.
Yeah.
Ooh, another new podcast idea. We just do Natalie Portman films in order from beginning to end.
Nah, I'm good.
And she's dead.
But it also had Henry Rollins.
It had Henry
A
Rollins
ton of people.
Oh, Jeremy Piven plays Dr. Bob.
for like 2 seconds. Yep.
Didn't
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy Piven was in it.
Yeah, the list goes on and on. We could be here for the entire rest of the podcast and going through everybody that's in this movie.
I agree. I just think they suffer from talking about the characters in particular. John Voight is the best example of this, but they
Okay.
all suffer from it. Henry Rollins is a very close second to suffering from this. They have been smacked with the mid 90s clothing branch. So it's like shitty, giant shoulder pads and slicked hair and just awfulness from sea to shining sea. when
John
it comes to
Voight's
that.
look
It's awful.
it was so greasy. It made me want to vomit.
The way you describe that, by the way, reminds me of Mrs. White in Clue. Like flames on the side of my face. Side of my face. It's just burning and
Heaving breath.
Well-
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, every time he was on screen, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
But I tell you what, I think it just made him look even worse standing right next to De Niro, who
Yes.
was sharp. Everything that he wore was sharp.
Yeah, his
Yes.
gray suits were just
They were,
immaculate.
yeah.
They were sharp, and then John Voight's like, "I got another job for you, man." I'm like,
I think
Jesus.
he was supposed to be like a Texan or something, but goddamn,
Yeah, it was bad.
Did not pull it off.
Well, what they were trying to do with John Voight's character, they were trying to mimic a real life famous criminal, Edward Bunker.
Okay.
Which, if that name sounds familiar, because he played one of the characters in Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I thought you were going to say it was like
He
Archie
was like-
Bunker's brother.
No, he was.
John Voight randomly makes racist jokes on stage as well, or on set as well.
Which Edward Bunker was in a couple of cameos in this movie, in Heat as well. He played. I forget, but he's a cameo in here, and he was one of the technical advisors for
interesting.
the heist stuff.
Yeah, I so if you take out the 90s-ishness of this, I think it stands up fine. Like, I think the action scenes, talking about the heist and stuff, I think those are very, very good. I just don't think it aged well, in my opinion. Like Val Kilmer's, it aged as well as Val Kilmer's ponytail. That's how well it aged. That's
You're
the problem.
telling me about the gunshots on the cars and stuff like that.
Those look
yeah.
great.
Which those were awesome, and kind of how they were actually done is they actually shot cars.
Yeah.
And then they put Bond over it and stuff like that, and then they put squibs behind it.
Oh, and then a lot of
So then it
blow out.
allowed the
That's
Bondo to pop out and to actually have a bullet hole, which
Like
I'm
a-
like, dude, that's genius.
Like I said, yeah, I'm not complaining. Like the action scenes and stuff. I'm
even
not
the
complaining.
audio of the bank heist scene, like
Yeah.
they did all that with the cars. But the Michael Mann also wanted the audio from the gunshots to. He didn't want to edit them in post, like typical movies do
Okay.
back then and nowadays. So he said that he strategically placed microphones all around the streets, and everything
Oh, that
that you
makes
hear
sense.
is
Yeah,
coming from the blanks and the guns and everything.
You
That
put
makes
this
sense.
movie right up against another shootout movie, totally different, and that's one of the reasons. Like, holy crap, I got to turn this down because it was like I was at the gun range.
Yeah. So I do have a couple of small complaints about, and this is very small. It really is, because this is a very typical movie thing. It appears that like getting automatic weapons was just as easy as going to Kmart. Like that's probably my biggest complaint in this is that everybody seems to have one. And talking about like mag, because you always want to go like the mag changes and
right.
stuff. Some of those were a little wonky.
A little bit long.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, a little bit
400 shots in that mag. Okay, just keep going.
I was thinking maybe like 60 to 70 in a mag.
But there were, but like you said, I did like the way the cars look shot. I mean, there was stuff that I liked about it too that kind of smoothed it out for me a little bit, if that makes sense.
And like people shooting from inside cars was well done too.
It is, but when they're in that getaway and Val Kilmer's shooting out the back and Robert De Niro shooting out the front and everybody, it reminded me of like something I've seen in Grand Theft Auto, like playing online with other people.
Hey, get in!
They got 40 guns going around just shooting. Yeah, exactly.
His voice. I only played Grand Theft Auto like twice, but his voice is what I remember from Grand Theft Auto. Like, what are you doing, hooker? Like,
Get out of the damn car.
God.
Oh god,
God.
That just made me laugh seeing that scene. Even though it's
I
a
wanna
crazy
know-
action scene that's going
I want to
on.
know how much money they were trying to get out of that heist from the bank.
1.6 million.
Wasn't it
With the
12.2?
cash.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was 12.2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 12.2 million.
Phew, that's a lot. That's heavy.
Yeah, because it was what eight
So the one scene,
digits. He said.
yeah, I think so. The scene where the guy, I forget which guy it was. I apologize
I think it was
now, but
Val
I think
Kilmer.
I thought it was Tom Sizemore. It doesn't matter.
Oh.
He puts the bag over it, and he's like, "Ugh," and like flips the
yeah.
bag. I was like, that's real. Like, good job. Like that.
Because what was
I
going
like
through
that.
my head was whenever it was
Assassins?
assassins.
Yes.
Yeah, what was going through my head
yeah.
was like assassins. Okay, oh, these are big bags. That's a lot of money. He better not pick the. Oh nope, he's he's having problems with it. That's good.
was having
but
problems
then
with it.
but then they put it over their shoulder and they're just like
Well, Tom Sizemore picks up two,
Yes, he does.
and he
Yeah.
runs
I was
out
like,
of the thing, and he hands one to
Yeah,
Robert De Niro.
it was great, and then it fell apart.
Yeah.
well, and this was 95. Assassins was 95.
Yep.
Just
Oh,
misinformation all around.
I will say
Interesting.
this: Assassins was 95. This was 95. I would pick this over Assassins.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
will say that,
Yeah.
but that's not saying much.
Oh, dang.
Listen, I'm not a De Niro fan at all. To me, he's the same fucking wooden person that he always is. I am a Pacino fan, but even Pacino to me, he could not pull this entire movie, and that was the thing. It literally at one point in the movie, I was like, Pacino's the only one acting. Everybody else is just like, what are we doing next, Al? Like he was the only one acting.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Yeah, he's the only one acting the whole fucking movie.
I'm going to go over there and I'm going to arrest him.
Well, Val Kilmer's character too. I'm confused as to why he's supposed to be this SAS guy. Why? I don't understand why that was necessary. Can you explain that to me? Because I don't get why that was necessary.
Someone had to be the explosive expert.
I guess that's the reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom Sizemore doesn't look like one.
Yeah, he just looks like a hardened criminal. Well, not hardened criminal. He just looks like
No,
the
Danny
driver.
Trejo looks like the hardened criminal.
Oh, you mean Trejo?
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
No, I was gonna say the guy who ends up ratting him out.
Hank
I want-
Azaria.
No,
Trejo.
long haired guy. Robert De Niro
Kevin
kills him.
is-
Weingard.
Ringgar.
Wangro.
Wayne Grow. It's Breckner's his real name. He was in
Kevin Gage was his real name.
Oh, that's right, Kevin Gage. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Breckner's the other guy.
Yeah.
Who's a cop in this one.
Wayne Grow.
Wayne Grow was in G.I. Jane. He plays Instructor
Yeah.
Pyro.
Yeah.
In G.I. Jane.
You know what's funny is now that we're talking about Ringro, he actually went to prison in 2003.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Like the real person?
the actor.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I don't know why, but
Was his tattoos real or something?
everybody called him Wingro.
The whole time he was there.
The whole time he was
That's
there.
funny. Yeah.
Interesting.
I can't get away from this movie.
And
Right.
I read too that Ted Levine actually was offered the part of Wingro, and he turned it down. He was like, no. He's like, I'd rather be the cop dude he ended up playing because I don't want to be. I feel like I'm being typecast as the bad guy.
I did like talking about Wayne Grow. By the way, I did like when he finally gets killed. I like that scene. The way
hotel stuff.
Yeah, I like the way De Niro dealt with it and stuff. I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
I knew from the beginning that, like, when I first watched this, I was like, okay, you're gonna go kill this guy, but shit's gonna go sideways.
Yeah.
and you're not gonna get out.
Well, it's
I was thinking he wasn't gonna get out alive. He's like, you made a mistake.
Yeah.
You were scot-free. Just let him go.
Well, it's that internal conflict,
Yeah.
right? Like he almost gets done in. He's not done in by Pacino per se. He's
Right.
actually done in by his
By
own
himself,
ego
yeah.
and by his own bullshit.
Well, because he
Well,
got
no.
away the first time. De Niro was gonna shoot him.
He's like, he's long gone.
Yeah.
How do you know that? How do you know that, Mr. Pacino? Trust me. I know. Hooah. Shut the fuck up.
Stop wasting my fucking time.
He's in the air.
Give me all you got.
A big ass.
Which apparently was ad-libbed.
The big ass.
The
thing?
big ass thing was ad-libbed.
Well, it's funny because
Well, it's a great ass.
It's
but
a great
he looks
ass.
like
Yeah,
he looks like he's going to say huge but big, but then he said great ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
but
was
then
kinda funny.
he draws like a
A
massive
huge
ass.
Yeah. What's the mental thing where you think that like a brand is something else or something like that?
Oh, the Nelson effect? No, not
Oh,
Nelson
The
effect.
Mandela.
The
effect?
Mandela
The Mandela
effect,
effect.
yeah.
So we always quote this line.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just
Yeah,
randomly.
we
It's like
always
he's
say-
got a huge ass,
we
but
always
it's
say
actually huge or giant or something like that. But it's great ass.
I think the reason I do that is because of the way he mimics.
Yeah.
Well, no, but there's something else that kind of makes fun of this movie and uses huge ass. They're like, that's a huge ass. Like it's off screen. It's like literally like somebody making a
I don't
comment
know.
about. I don't know the movie, but I
Yeah.
know that gets made in a movie. So it's probably what we're grabbing from. Ashley Judd, who he's talking about in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like super impressed. She was pretty-ish in this movie with the blonde hair and stuff. She was like a Charlize Theron knockoff, but I
But we
wasn't
never
really,
see her ass though.
No, but I wasn't like super impressed by her as an actress in this. I don't know.
She was all right.
See, to me,
Nothing out, crazy, but
well, that's what I'm saying. To me, almost all the women in this movie, in typical like gangster movie style, they're forgettable. Like they're replaceable. You could easily, shift them around. You could take all the actresses, throw them into a pot, and pull them out individually, and be like, okay, short Demi Moore looking girl, you're now Val Kilmer's love interest, and
Right.
the blonde, you're going over here to be with Robert De Niro, and the other girl who Robert De Niro ends up with, the
Edie.
the homely brunette.
Yeah, Eady.
Eady, you now are Pacino's girl. I mean, you could do that and nothing changes. It's really the focus is on Pacino, De Niro, Val Kilmer.
right. I mean, that's the
etc.
draw to the movie,
Yeah.
and those three people to me kind of steal the scenes. Like anytime Robert De Niro's on screen, obviously.
yeah.
Pacino, obviously. I like Val Kilmer in this as well. I think
The-
that's fine, even though he doesn't have much dialogue, like you said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Natalie Portman scenes.
So the Natalie Portman scene in particular, the ending scene
Yes,
where she
The suicide attempt.
fuck me, that's sad
It's
and rough
sad.
and yeah.
But it's like, okay, so her acting in this movie, it honestly didn't propel much of the story.
no.
Like her being in it didn't really propel much.
Yeah,
But-
she was just having father issues.
Right. Which
And then stepfather issues, and
Yeah.
then mother issues,
Right.
and then her mother.
well, she
was
liked
trying to-
liked Pacino more than her mother.
Yes.
Because her mother was actually just whoring around.
Was she actually whoring around, by the way, or was it just with Ralph at the end?
I think it was Ralph. at
Just
the
with
end.
Ralph.
Just with Ralph at the end. She wasn't whoring around prior to that. She was trying to make the relationship work with Pacino, but he was a shitty husband as usual.
Which he doesn't care. Just not watching my TV.
That's right. You could ball around with my wife.
Which was, yeah. I'm sorry.
That was I took
but
it
you're
as,
not watching my 12-inch television, damn it.
You know what I took that as? I
Yeah.
took it as because earlier in the film, his wife was Demi Moore lookalike.
Yep.
Was talking about how he's not in this relationship and how he's just
Yes.
he's basically married to his work and all
Yeah.
that. That just shows you how disconnected he was.
yeah,
Right, yeah.
completely.
All he cared about was the girl and the Natalie Portman, and obviously because he's drawn to that victim.
Yeah.
That victim type where he's like, okay, I need to protect
Oh,
her
yeah.
and watch her, and all I have is this television. So yeah, I'm done. I'm taking my television and throwing it
Going
on the
home.
street and going home. That's what I do.
Throw it into the street. That was pretty hilarious. He's like, it's already busted up, so he just shoves it out. I kind of
Yes.
wonder if that was actually shot without like streets being closed. Because I mean,
don't know.
I looked at the extras, and I don't know if they were supposed to act like, what the hell is that, or if they actually had Pacino like throw out a television
Yeah.
on the street and
That would have
Go.
been great. Though.
Candid camera
just,
style.
just random people at the bus stop going, "Did Pacino just kick a TV out of a car?"
Well, it wouldn't be completely unheard of. What was the movie that he's walking down the New York street and he's like, "Hey, I'm walking here."
Oh,
like,
Midnight Cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
Midnight Cowboy. That's
was
a
a real
scene. The
that was a
street-
real taxi driver that was trying to cut him off or something like that. And
Yeah,
he
the street-
banged on the hood, and he's
The
like,
street
"I'm
wasn't
walking
closed.
here."
Yeah, the street
Yeah.
wasn't closed, and he almost gets hit in the scene.
Yeah.
And they're just like, keep rolling, and he keeps character.
It's fantastic.
And
That's
keeps
Dustin
pushing forward.
Hoffman.
That was Dustin Hoffman.
Shit, that was Dustin Hoffman,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Damn it, you're right. Sorry.
See, it's that whole Mandela effect thing.
Well, no, what it is it's 70s.
He's got a huge.
it's 70s. It's 70s Al Pacino and Dustin Hoffman. Another set of interchangeable people.
Kind of. Yeah.
Driving the driveway.
You remember whenever Al Pacino was
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Tootsie, right? Anyway.
Love it.
God. So if let me ask you guys this then. So if you, I mean, you're just happy with the way the movie is. Like there was nothing you would change, Justin. Because I
No.
Yeah.
A couple of things I would change is I would not do that green screen effect.
Okay.
Off the
Yeah,
bat.
big
Fair
oof.
enough. Yeah.
I would cut that scene down too. I think that's another reason the green screen looks so bad is just because how long that scene is. It gives the audience plenty of time to
criticize it.
it.
Yeah.
Definitely cut that down a little
Well,
bit.
and you're right there because the whole movie, you're right there in their face, in the actors' faces for the most part. And that particular scene, the lighting is so much different, and it feels out of place.
You know why I have a feeling that you're so close to them? Because I have a feeling that the house that he goes to kill Van Zant in,
Yeah.
when he goes, he climbs up a hill in Van Zant's backyard, and there's a tree that he passes, and it looks exactly like the tree that's in the background of that scene.
So you think it's the same location?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm just...
They shot it in the backyard of Van Zandt's house, and they were like, "Shit, we can't just use the backyard, can we?" Like, we'll shoot this direction.
Well, they might have shot multiple nights there to close off the location, and then
Which brings me to Van Zant's character.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So thinking about this logically, yeah, they steal the bonds and all that kind of stuff, and they make this little ploy of, oh, he's gonna get it back, but we're gonna sell it to him. For
Everybody
less,
makes
and
some
everybody
money.
makes
Yeah.
some money. Blah blah blah. Everybody's good, right? Well, then Zant, he's like super pissed off, and he's like, nobody steals my bonds and bullshit. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna start killing people. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why?
Why?
Yeah.
More than likely.
Why include another bad guy into this?
So I'm with you. Listen, I'm 100% the choir in this situation.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not even supported by tech, so I'm even more on your side. But what I think they were trying to do was they were trying to have him be like a "don't fuck with me" business guy, like nobody steals from me kind of thing, and have him sort of make a message with Robert De Niro's death, like nobody steals from me. I even killed that guy who stole from me, and that's why no one else will steal from me. That's what I think they were going for. Instead, what they came across with was muddying the waters and having way too many
There were so many subplots in this. To me,
Yeah.
Again, I'm on your
it
side.
was. That's why I was saying, like when you were Justin, when you were saying about the subplot of having Pacino have a
cocaine
addict or something like a habit. I'm like, okay, I'm glad they cut that out because it's just too much to be packed into this movie. There's so many different storylines that are going on.
Well, they still got 10 minutes to play with to hit that 3-hour mark.
Yeah, they had the time.
I'm with you. I think
Yeah.
I think the relationships aren't necessary. I don't really think the only one that matters. Well, there's two. There's two that matter, and it's Robert De Niro's with Eady,
Yeah.
and then Val Kilmer's with Ashley Judd. Everyone else's fucking girlfriends and etc. can disappear.
well,
I can understand Pacino's relationship being in there.
I just don't want to see it as much as we do.
You need the De Niro Pacino relationship too.
yeah.
No. I'm not
he's
talking. I'm
talking
talking about
the-
between the girls.
Oh,
Just the
okay.
girls.
Yeah,
I
gotcha.
think all the rest of the women can disappear from this movie except for Ashley Judd's character and Eady. Everybody else can disappear.
See,
Yeah.
I
don't think it helps
disagree. I think you have to have Chris's girlfriend, and you have to have
Chris's girlfriend is Ashley Judd.
Right.
I agree. I'm with you on
right, and
that. Pacino's girlfriend.
Sizemore. Didn't he there was a dinner where all of them were all together,
Yep.
and everybody had a mate.
She didn't even have any speaking roles.
No,
She did.
She got a ring.
She got a ring.
Yeah.
They talk with their kid.
You gotta
and
put a
all.
ring on it. Yeah. I don't know.
But
I don't remember them doing that song.
No.
Like,
They just started
if you
jumping
love
up
it,
and
put a ring
doing
on.
single ladies.
Did I miss the dance number in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
movie?
It was
too?
also a musical.
It's a Bollywood production.
Heat,
The musical.
Jesus Christ. The music.
The hottest thing on Broadway.
We'll put it on
Hottest
after
thing on
Jojo Rabbit. Oh, God. The hottest thing. Good Lord. The puns.
Pacino is so hot right now.
And the only thing that'll cool it off is the Devil's Rain.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway.
But
Anyhow.
no, I think you have to. All the bad guys, all the crew,
Yes.
has to have their significant other to emphasize that Robert De Niro is living by that creed of I got to keep to myself so that I can cut and run anytime I can. But then the wrench gets thrown in is Eady, obviously, which he second guesses.
Yes.
You know, as we talked about earlier. But then he ultimately falls back on his credo, and he hightails it off of her.
And it was almost exactly 30 seconds.
Yes, it's 42 seconds from the time that he sees Pacino,
Yeah.
and it's 12 seconds from him to decide or there's like shots and all that. It's 12 seconds, and then there's 30 seconds of when he's looking back and forth at Eady and Pacino, and the time he takes off.
And
It's
almost
seconds.
exact 30 seconds, he's actually starting to run.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like it when filmmakers just kind of do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it was real time.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was real time, which I liked. And kind of like the chase scene. That was real time. They
Okay.
literally ran across that airport.
No, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Literally. They didn't even shut down the airport. They were like, just keep the planes running. We'll make sure we don't get run over. You're good to go.
And I didn't even realize it until now, but when
Yeah.
they were at the crew having that dinner, and Tom Sizemore is with his his
Family.
new wife, and his daughter, I guess, or her daughter, one of the two. And that foreshadowing that he goes to grab that kid as a hostage during the the
bank
big
heist.
fight at the end.
Yeah.
Well, not at the end. It's still like an hour left in the movie.
Oh, I know.
But
Yeah, because I was looking at this heist, and I was like, I'm just curious. Yeah, what's in this? And it's like an hour 50 into it. And I'm like, an hour left?
Yeah.
These guys are dead.
Yeah.
Like, they're not getting out alive. Like, what's going on here?
this was really not about them. Yeah, it's about
Pacino
and
De
De Niro.
Niro's fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm
Which
I'm
so
with you. I
so
definitely checked too.
Wrapping up, I did really like the ending shot where of course Pacino laid down like 3 bullets in his chest. Mm-hmm. Pacino shot De Niro, right? So De Niro's like kind of leaning there up against this post or whatever, and he's dying. And they have like some words back and forth, but then Pacino like grabs his hand, and he holds his hand while he dies.
Yes.
Which I'm like, that's nice of him.
Yeah. Well, it shows that De Niro.
Respect.
Well, it showed respect, but it also showed that De Niro had nobody. He had nobody else, and the thought to him of it's like, okay, this is it. I need to be comforted.
Yeah, and in that diner scene, they even mentioned, they kind of foreshadowed it. They're like, if I'm coming at you, it's kind of nothing personal, but I'm going home to my wife, whether you like it or not. So
or Ralph's wife, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm going home to Ralph's girl.
you're right.
So real quick, I got some alternate castings that were considered.
nice.
I always love these.
Sure.
So for Vincent Hannah, the Al Pacino character,
Okay.
what do you think about Mel Gibson in that role instead?
Ew. No.
See, I'm willing to give it a shot. And you know why? I get tired of the tough guy, like constant over the top New York tough guy bullshit. I kind of wouldn't have minded like a Lethal Weapon-esque Mel Gibson character in this one. I don't think I would have hated that.
I think it would have been too Lethal Weapon though.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
I think
Because
the tone of the movie
he was already
completely
somewhat
different.
crazy in Lethal Weapon.
True, he
He
might have
didn't
just
need
been
cocaine.
And now Riggs is going after Robert De Niro.
Riggs.
Yeah.
Well, what about Harrison Ford for Neil McCauley for De Niro's character?
I don't know.
I don't think it would have had the same effect.
No. I mean, if anything, I think Ford is more of a leading man because, De Niro dies in the end, so he's not, to me, considered, quote unquote, leading man, even though it was about the two of them. So probably maybe more for not Neil, Vincent's character.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Maybe.
I will say that it probably wasn't thought about at all, but for Robert De Niro's character, I would have liked to have seen either Sean Connery or Michael Caine.
Michael Caine?
Yeah, I think Michael Caine's a fucking baddie when he wants to be. That guy is sickeningly dark when he wants to be.
He basically shoots you down with intellectual speech.
I just would have liked to. I don't like Robert De Niro. I don't like the Italian, like, oh, I'm super tough. Look how tough I am. No, you're not. In the real life, you're fucking afraid to look at guns. Shut the fuck up.
The first movie that Eddie's New York accent actually fits.
Actually works. Yeah.
Ha 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 ha. Fuck you guys.
And then I got two more.
When did Warwick Davis get on this show?
Die,
I really, anybody who's listening, any listeners, I really would like somebody to commission the entire Leprechaun series.
Oh my God.
I think that would be hilarious.
Awesome.
You could have just said Willow. You didn't have to go Leprechaun with Warwick Davis.
Willow's on my list. We'll get to that eventually.
There we go. Willow's a good one.
So two more. I got, what about
also Val Kilmer,
Nick Nolte and Jeff Bridges in the two leading roles?
Oh God, no.
Jeff Bridges?
Now, Nick,
as who?
They didn't say. They just said in the two leading roles. So take your pick. Switch them around.
No.
And remember, Nick Nolte, played cops and all
another
that
48 hours.
Another 48 hours.
And, and the problem is that he comes across as like 70s stupid white guy cop. Like he doesn't pull. I mean, if you the guy who gets killed, the cop with the mustache and the bald head who gets shot. Yes. Nick Nolte could have played that character, hands down, right? They look like they could be brothers in the 70s at some point.
Now, Gary Busey as the Winegrow character.
Waingro?
Waingro. The asshole character.
Yeah.
Winegrow. It sounds like a fertilizer.
Right? But I could totally see him in that.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah,
not Nick Nolte, but Gary Busey. Yeah.
See, I just got him screwed.
Yeah, and then right before he gets shot on the couch, he just goes, Gary Busey!
Yeah. Just yells out his real name. That's great.
I think actually for the Waingro character, Archie Bunker and Mary Tyler Moore for Ashley Judd's character. I think you just redo them all with TV, like famous TV actors and actresses, and just let it go.
Early 2000s actors?
Make it a comedy.
Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, my top picks.
Yeah, for sure. Good picks, too.
Yeah, and the way that they advertised this movie leading up to it was, the first time that these two, major actors were going to face off, basically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, it cost them a bit.
Really?
Yes.
I bet it did.
The budget for this movie, $60 million estimated, which is pretty steep.
95 money?
Yeah, I think so. It's just estimated. But the opening weekend was fairly impressive. $8.4 million, December 17th, 1995.
Yeah.
So, did this make its money back?
Yeah. They've had 30 years to do it, so yeah, I would say so.
Had to have.
Yeah, so, but not as much as you think. Because
$62 million.
In the U.S. and Canada, it's only $67.4 million. But the gross worldwide, $187.4 million.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's China talking right there.
Yeah.
We just love Pacino.
You want some heat? We got spice for you.
Christ. Stop saying the word heat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anytime that they do that in a movie, it's not a good movie to me. Anytime that they're like, well, the movie's called this, we should put this in. It has to be in there somewhere. Every time they do, I'm like, God damn, why? Why do you feel the need?
Throw them the heater.
Yes, Gary Busey. Yes, exactly.
Well, the critics give Heat 87%, and the audience gives Heat 94%.
Wow. Cool. So it's a fan favorite then.
Eddie score 0.2.
No, it's going to be higher than a 0.2.
0.3. Come on, Jesus.
Of course, you honestly have to. You have the Robert De Niro deductions though.
Exactly.
Is that
that's
automatic
already
5 points?
That's 5 points off automatically.
Dang.
Sorry.
Right.
Well, I guess since this was my movie, I'll go.
Yeah.
So,
this movie was actually picked because of our Patreons picked it.
Yes.
We had this was a crime genre that we had to pick. So Justin picked Heat, Eddie picked Bully.
Yep.
I picked Kyle picked Black Klansman, and John picked Baby Driver, and all four of those were on a poll. And if you were a Patreon member, then you were able to vote for that. So we appreciate your votes, and that's why we spun for Heat, because there was actually a tie.
Yeah, exactly.
We
need more Patreon members.
Yeah, Baby Driver and Heat, so we had to spin, and we chose Heat.
Yep.
Well, the wheel chose.
The wheel chose Heat, yes.
chose
The
Heat.
fate.
Fate. The Wheel of Fate.
A collective we.
Yep. So,
Oh, sorry.
I haven't seen this movie in a while. I was glad to rewatch it. It made me remember why I like it a lot. Yes, it is kind of long, but I feel like the pacing is pretty brisk. Everything up until the green screen scene that we're talking about, that would be one of the scenes I'd cut down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, the rest of it I kind of like. I like Trejo's character and how he, rats on them and all the. You said, Kyle, that there's a lot of subplots in it. I like all the subplots.
Yeah,
they all make sense to me.
It was packed.
So I'm gonna give this a 8 points. Eddie's face.
It's like, oh my God, that high?
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
I'm
going to be
just-
this high.
Just thinking about the averaging out here. I'm like, okay, play the game, sir. Play the game. I understand.
I'm gonna do 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah,
Good
All right.
it's one of my favorite movies.
Good Lord. Okay.
Eddie.
Okay, so the pacing. There are moments that are brisk and that are interesting and that, the pacing I don't mind. Okay. And then there's moments where as soon as those are done, it just feels like you get stuck in quicksand. And the quicksand is filled with subplots and extra meandering shit
Subplot snakes.
that we're just going to talk about for like 30 minutes. And then, hooah, here comes Al Pacino. The other piece that I wasn't a fan of, it just it doesn't age well to me. Like this movie just, as soon as you flip it on, you're like, oh, it's the 90s. Okay. Like it just feels like
Is
the
that
90s.
a bad thing?
Yes.
See,
Yes,
I don't think so.
it's not the 90s I appreciate. Let me say it that way. It's the 90s where they were like, I don't know how to describe it other than they were romanticizing like this New York gangster bullshit, where Robert De Niro is God and Al Pacino is the cop trying to catch him. I just don't have it in me to I don't have that kind of hero worship for pieces of shit like this. It does the opposite of what Reservoir Dogs does. Reservoir Dogs shows them as like assholes and killers and all that kind of stuff, but shows them as that. This thing's like, no, but he's like a sophisticated killer. He's a sophisticated bank robber who has his little crew in check and just randomly might grab somebody to kill them if he needs to. Like, I just don't.
Actually,
have that.
Robert De Niro only kills the people that have wronged him.
In this movie, yeah, but he's simultaneously enabling because he's the one. Isn't he the one who
Right.
gives the nod to Wayne Grow at the beginning?
Somebody
gives them the nod.
Well, to
No.
Sizemore.
Somebody gives them the nod to Sizemore to shoot the last hostage.
Right, but he's saying that
Wangro actually shot the first dude, just
the first
out
guy.
Of
so it's
his
Sizemore.
own.
So then it's definitely Robert De Niro that gives him the nod.
Yeah.
But I digress. There's parts of it that I like. I do like Pacino in it, and I don't know. There's just elements I do like, but overall, it just kind of lacks. And your big thing is rewatchability. This bitch bringing in at 3 hours really kills the rewatchability aspect. For
Honestly, I kind of want to get the 4K version.
Just watch it
and
again.
watch it again. Yeah.
It's worth the $4. Telling you.
That right there, by the way, sums up this movie for me.
Glowing endorsement.
It's worth $4.
It's worth the $4.
You know what? I know. I contemplated. I watched it. I watched it twice actually.
Yeah.
In 4K, and I contemplated going ahead and spending the 15 for the full
full
version.
copy.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the full copy. Yeah.
Well, it's not quite Gone with the Wind, but I am glad that this is over, so I never have to watch it again. For me, I would say that this movie's. I'm going to put it around a 3.8.
So
Okay,
almost a
3.8.
2.5, like 2.5 or
Hey,
almost 3
it's-
hours. So it's a point an hour.
It's much better than Assassins. It's
Yeah.
much better. I took off a half a point every time I saw ridiculously sized shoulder pads. So
See,
it went down quite a bit.
To me, I didn't really focus on the clothing that much. I didn't, because you were telling me it's like, oh my god, the flat or the flat facing pants and all that kind of stuff.
No, the opposite. Pleats. There's
Pleats?
pleats as far as the eye can see
yeah,
in this
well,
movie.
It
I
could have
didn't-
been worse. It could have been shot in Miami.
Oh god,
It
And
might as well
everything's
have been.
loose clothing and everything.
it might as well
I
have
didn't
been.
really focus on that kind of stuff, but I really did enjoy the whole cat and mouse. What ended up being a cat and mouse story with De Niro and Pacino.
Mm-hmm.
I did like some of the subplots in this film, but when you have a film that includes too many subplots, you start to lose a lot of credibility to me. I don't know. It's almost like as a chef, and like Ramsay hates parsley added to plates. He's like, "What are you hiding?
Right?
What are you hiding in this dish?" And that's what I think when people try to add too many plots to it. I'm like, okay, so what are you hiding here? Are you hiding? Are you basically confusing people? Or are you adding too much stuff to where they forget other things that might glare at you later on? I don't know, but I mean, everything about it, the camera work was great. The action scenes were awesome. I really liked the dialogue scenes between Pacino and De Niro. Mm-hmm. They had really good chemistry on set and on the film. I think this movie is going to be probably like a 6.7 for me.
Okay, 6.7 for Kyle. John?
Despite its flaws, I love the movie. It's really, really good. I think I went through pretty much my whole spiel that I normally do at the end throughout the show. But I agree with Kyle. Cinematography spot on. The sound design spot on. I mean, they used this film for police training, for the heist scene, and Val Kilmer especially when he ducks down behind the car and reloads.
Yeah.
That's like you. This is what you need to do, type thing. This is it. If you can't be as fast as this guy, just say low. Get out of the fight, type thing. That being said, I am going to give this a solid 8.
All right.
Okay, so John gives it an 8, so that means that Heat gets an average of 6.8.
Good score.
Yeah, not bad. All right,
Not bad for a 3-hour 1995 film with greasy John Voight.
No. Pointing out another reason. Never mind. Assassins, it was not. That's all I can say. I'm glad it was not Assassins.
Yeah, you said it was better than Assassins.
Oh, it's Assassins, I gave a 1.5.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was much better than Assassins. It was 2.5
It was
times
twice
better.
as better?
It was
Twice as better.
2.5 times better than Assassins, yes. It was also 2.5 times the length of Assassins. So probably has something to do with it.
Yep. So now we need to spin the wheel for our Patreon members to see who is going to be the lucky member that's going to take home the season 3 Screen Riot shirt.
Yeah.
So we've got all of our Patreon members up on the board, John.
They are there.
All right. So let's go ahead and spin.
Okay, and here we go. And we have Robert P.
All right.
Robert P. Okay, well, congratulations, Robert P. On winning the Screen Riot Season 3 t-shirt. We'll get in touch with you to figure out what size you are and all that, and we'll send it on your way. And for those who aren't Patreon members, if you want the Season 3 shirt, we're going to put it up on the shop. It should be up there by the time you hear this.
Yep.
And you can purchase your own version of it. So with that, we need to actually spin to see who is going to pick what movie for Season 4.
Yeah.
Because this is Season 3.
This is it. Season 3's done.
Yep. So, John, you have all the hosts back on the board.
That I do.
So let's spin it to see who is the lucky/unlucky person.
All right, here we go.
It's going to be Justin.
And it's going to be Heat 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
It actually is going to be Justin.
Justin 2, Heat 2, Heater.
You can't do TV movies.
It's going to be LA Takedown.
No. No TV movies.
Okay, so what genre am I picking from?
Oh, okay, all of them are back on the list.
So comedy?
boy.
Is that what you're going to say?
Oh, it's probably going to be comedy. I'll bet I will. Oh, man, I'd be if I were a betting man.
Please no.
Johnny Dangerously or... Go ahead.
All right, here we go.
Jesus. That reminds you how long of a season we have.
No comedy. No comedy. No.
And drama.
Oh no.
Drama.
No. It was fantasy.
Oh no, it's fantasy.
I heard the click.
It clicked.
Yeah.
It's fantasy.
Man, I tried to Bob Barker it and I got it wrong.
Yeah. It landed on $1.
Fantasy, huh?
All right, I know what I'm going to pick. I just got to... All right, so the movie I'm going to pick is Pan's Labyrinth from 2006. It's rated R. It's an hour 58 minutes, so
Directed
it's not
by
another...
Guillermo del Toro. It's in
directed by
Spanish.
Guillermo Yeah, it is all in Spanish.
Yep.
But I don't...
No, wrong Spanish. Spain Spanish, not Mexican Spanish.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. Cinco de Mayo. No, wrong fucking
Español.
Spanish. It's not
They
the
say
same, dude.
arriba.
It's not the same. It's different.
Say that.
So in Spain of 1944, the bookish young stepdaughter of a sadistic army officer escapes into an eerie but captivating fantasy world.
It even has fantasy in the synopsis. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Good job.
Exactly. So if you want to follow along at home, just go to justwatch.com. You can look up Pan's Labyrinth, see all the places that you can stream or rent it. And you'll see us back here to review Pan's Labyrinth on September 11th. This is when we're going to come back for Season 4. So we're looking forward to it, and hopefully you guys are too. And we will see you later.
See ya.
See ya.